Luca, a short film created by Nene, or who you may know as the director and artist of Yasubi's Racing in the Night music video. Luca is not only an interesting film, but a monumental achievement for Nene. Upon first watch, you probably won't understand most of it, if any of it at all, and that is okay. For a short film to say so much in such little time, it should be given its flowers and praises. In this video, I will dissect it the best I absolutely can. I will not be given a play-by-play though, so if you haven't seen it yet, first off, why'd you click this video? And second off, you have been warned. Go watch it first. Without further ado, let's jump in. The Prelude. Now the first and most important detail that we must understand about this film is that there are two Lucas. You have the main one we see throughout, the fake shape-shifting one, and the real Luca, who we only see about 7 minutes in. Going forward, I'll refer to the shape-shifting one as the fake, and the real one just as Luca. Let's move on. Part 1. Nene. In order to truly understand this film, we must talk about our main character, Nene, as her character arc is the main crux of the whole story. Nene, just like every other artist, is human, and the biggest flaw that any human could have is comparing themselves to others. Nene originally started playing the piano because she wanted to, but over time, that changed for the worse. The constant praise she received, the competitions she won, and earning a scholarship solely for her skills made her lose track of what she was playing for. Instead, all she could think about was how good it felt to be the best and have everyone tell her that. Something of note, which I myself did not notice at first until I read some comments, was that every time Nene played the piano, you didn't actually really hear the piano, you heard people praising her and complimenting her. Most of the time, it's the only thing you hear, and if you do hear the piano, it's not at all what she was playing. Rather, it's very dissonant and almost sounds off-key. This is a clear example how during the duration of this film, she truly did only care about what people thought rather than actually playing the piano for herself. This would be detrimental to her, as it would be the main catalyst for what was to play out throughout the entire film. Going forward, I'll be talking about the story in chronological order, as it just makes the most sense in understanding everything. Part 2. Luca and their backstory. Now our second main character, Luca, makes things a lot more complicated. First off, like I mentioned earlier, there are two Lucas, not just one. Let's talk about the real one first. So we only meet Luca about 2/3 of the way through the film at the 7-minute, 30-second mark. When we meet her, she is playing the piano, and the only thing you hear in this moment is the piano. Obviously, contrasting what we heard when Nene was performing. Nene was dumbfounded by her performance. She couldn't even fathom the thought of someone being better than her. At this point during the film, the text, "She's shone far more brightly than I ever did," flashed across the screen. The next thing we see is actually Luca trying to befriend Nene. It might not be obvious yet, but it's clear Luca admires Nene to some degree. Nene, on the other hand, doesn't see this. And despite her jealousy, they become friends with a genuine bond. Throughout this whole scene, we still hear the song that Luca was presumably playing the moment we meet her. We cut to Luca practicing a song for one of her competitions. She asks Nene to play the piece for her, and she refuses at first because she's embarrassed, especially since she believes that Luca is better than her. Luca then admits that she doesn't have the confidence for this piece, as she's played it so much, she's become numb to it. Nene, in shock, then plays for her. The music in the background becomes very eerie and dissonant. Nene's playing gives Luca the confidence she needed to play the piece, as right after this, we then cut to the competition, where Luca is receiving a massive round of applause from the audience, presumably winning the event. Luca is ecstatic about this, and is even grateful for Nene. But Nene cannot believe that she helped her win. In her mind, she should be the one receiving that applause. This is followed by the next scene, where Luca starts getting praised by their fellow classmates, and Nene gets so jealous that she doesn't want to be her friend anymore. We see this by Luca asking Nene to hang out, and Nene constantly making excuses not to. We then cut to Nene, trying to play, but having a hard time. She is so upset and tilted at the thought of someone being better than her, that she ends up playing worse. While all this is happening, we see the same flashing text on the screen, saying, "She's shone far brighter than I ever did," perfectly encapsulating how the constant comparison is clouding her mind. We then see the most important scene of this short film, which is Nene's shadow transforming into the fake. This is what the entire short has led up to. We now understand that the fake is the living embodiment of Nene's negative thoughts, ranging from jealousy, anxiety, and perfectionism. The fake being able to turn into anything is a perfect representation of this feeling, as not only can it turn into Luca, the one she's jealous of, but also her peers, the ones she wants to receive praise from. We will now be going back to the beginning, as we now understand everything we have to up until this point. Part 3. The first half. The short film starts with Nene about to play piano, until it cuts away. First thing we learn is Nene feels like she's being watched by multiple people, until one day she meets the fake. The first thing the fake asks her is, "What do you desire?" Nene is confused as she doesn't know this person, but eventually gives in and follows them. The fake then reveals itself, showing how it can transform into anyone and anything. The fake says how it's all alone. It can't hold its shape for long and is constantly changing. I'm specifically highlighting this part, as going off what we know, this truly is Nene's negative thoughts and feelings personified. It feels alone, because if Nene doesn't give into it, it has no one. It can't hold shape for long and is constantly changing, because it's not just representing one emotion, but all of them at different times. And if Nene isn't feeling anything negative, then the fake will disappear. As the short goes on, we learn Nene is constantly talking to the fake, which again is more so just her giving into these thoughts and feelings. Now you may be wondering, if the fake isn't real and it's all in Nene's head, then how come her classmates previously acknowledged the fake as a person? Like Nene said, how her classmates are weirded out that she's always talking to someone new every day. To that, I say that this is the equivalent of seeing someone who is visibly anxious. The classmates don't see the fake per se, rather they see Nene and how much of a physical toll these emotions are having on her. At least that's my explanation for it. As the film goes on, we eventually see the fake turn into a flying fish. The fish itself doesn't really make sense unless you understand Japanese culture. The flying fish in Japan represents that good fortune is on the way. If you are currently struggling with a crisis, physically or mentally, a solution to your problems is heading in your direction. Essentially, the flying fish is a symbol of positive change. This will be important later, especially in regards to the ending, where we see this fish again. From this interaction, we learn about Nene's fingers and how they're physically gone, or so you may think. This may sound a little confusing right now, but her fingers aren't actually gone, and we see them back on her hands at the end. I will elaborate on this more when we get there, but for now, keep that in mind. During this conversation, we get the flashback of how good Nene used to be at piano. As I previously talked about, we now know that her skills caused her ego to grow, and in the end, turned out to be her downfall. Right now, in this point in time, the thought of playing scares her so much that she can't even bring herself to physically play. The fake then says, "You want to play piano, don't you?" Of course, Nene does, but her mentality won't allow her. So after a little banter, she asks the fake to be her friend. And with that, a short compilation of her constantly asking for Luca plays out. At this moment, we understand that she's taking solace in the fact that she has an excuse to avoid playing. She's comfortable feeling this way, but as we know what's coming, it won't last forever. Next, we jump to Nene and the fake in the most important location of the whole short, this being the piano room. The room is a huge and empty space with large windows on the walls and doors. The only object in this room and the main focal point of it being the piano. This was a very deliberate choice by Nene, as it perfectly encapsulates how Nene truly feels on the inside when playing piano. She feels she has no privacy. She has to be perfect because everyone's watching her all the time. And by feeling all this, she feels that she has to always be perfect because she wants to maintain that reputation. But the two of them start talking about school and how, despite Nene not being able to play piano anymore, why she keeps coming back. Nene acts aloof and says that her teachers understand her situation, so as long as she shows up, she'll pass. But the fake knows Nene, as she quite literally is a part of her. The fake straight up says to her, "Is that really the only reason? You just can't let go, can't you? You feel like you lost everything that mattered to you, like you've even lost yourself. That's why, if you can't play anymore, you at least want to stay by its side." This tells us that no matter how much Nene may want to suppress it, she can't. The fake is the crystallization of how Nene truly feels, whether she likes it or not. Nene then says how she didn't become friends with her to hear her say things like this. This is followed by the fake suddenly grabbing Nene, then turning into her fingers, and starting to lose shape. We then see in a montage of how the fake can't hold form anymore. At this point, Nene cannot fool herself anymore. Slowly but surely, the facade of not being able to play and getting comfortable with it is breaking. Notice how when Nene was most comfortable not being able to play, the fake was able to hold its form, no problem. But the moment she realizes that she actually does miss playing, the fake immediately starts to break shape and cannot hold its form. You see what I'm getting at? The fake then asks Nene 4 questions all at once. What do you desire? What are you looking for? What do you want to be? And what do you want to do? This is then followed up with what we spoke about in the beginning. From here, the story takes a really dramatic turn, so prepare yourself and let's get a move on. Part 4, the second half. So quick recap. Nene has a big ego from being so good at piano. She then meets Luca, who's just as good, if not better than her. They become friends, but eventually, Nene grows jealous as Luca starts winning competitions and getting praises from their peers. Nene is so tilted that she can't play and manifests the fake, which is just her negative feelings and emotions embodied into a constantly changing blob. Text flashes on the screen, "She shone far brighter than I ever did." The fake then says, "That's not true," and then follows us up by saying, "How do you want to play it?" We then see the many forms of the fake following Nene around school, repeating the same scene from the beginning. Once again, confirming that this anxiety has been weighing on Nene heavily and for a while. Following up this scene, the fake tells Nene how to correctly play the piano, by saying things like, "You have to play with more charm, you have to practice more, you have to work harder." What I love about this is how comparing yourselves to others truly does feel like this. Think about it. You will never be good enough no matter how much you compare yourself to someone else, because you'll never be them. You are you. And that's why everything the fake is saying is really not helpful in any way. Of course, to get better, you have to practice more. That's just how it works. She even says she has to play with more charm. But like, what does that mean? We then cut to the fake, holding Nene's hand and running into an empty white abyss, while Nene is saying, "Wait, who are you? You're not Luca, are you?" This is where Nene realizes her perception of Luca is wrong. Luca isn't a bad person or anything, she never was. Nene just got so wrapped up in her head that she can't properly think. Before we go on, I would like to say that for the next and final part of this video, I will be telling it in a play-by-play fashion. I know I said I wasn't going to do it, but I have to do it now as it just makes the most sense, and everything that happens from this point on is so important to just the overall message. So with that, let's move on. We then cut to the 2 girls in class, Luca in front of Nene's desk, asking her, "What is it that you desire?" Nene thinks about it for a second, and we immediately cut to Nene watching Luca play the piano, with the fake right behind her. Alongside eerie music, we see the fake grabs a hold of Luca, trying to consume her. This is followed by Nene running towards the 2 with a knife, trying to stop the fake. We then cut to Nene's fingers on the ground, followed by her hand with said fingers missing. The knife is nowhere to be seen. Luca is still sitting at the piano about to play, but Nene runs over to stop her. Luca then says, "I was going to let you hear my piano." Nene responding with, "Never mind, I get it now, I finally understand. Luca, will you listen to my piano?" We are followed by the final scene of this film, which is narrated by the fake. She says, "Lately wherever I go, something is missing. Who am I waiting for? What did I do? Where should I return to? At this point, I just don't know anymore." All the while, we see her touching a dead fish on the ground, the same one she transformed into earlier. We then cut to Nene, who has all of her fingers back. For the final scene of this film, we see as Luca is watching Nene play the piano. As soon as Nene is about to play, we cut to the credits, presumably with the piece that she is playing in the background. The song sounds like a calm and serene tune. So, let's break it down. Luca asks Nene what she desires. We immediately cut to showing Luca on the piano. I interpret this as Nene wants to have the drive that Luca does. Like mentioned earlier, Luca doesn't play for the audience, that's just a bonus to her. She actually plays for herself, and just enjoys piano. Nene wants that same drive, so she can stop feeling the constant pressure she's always feeling. We then have the knife sequence play out. The fake trying to consume Luca is a metaphor for the fact that Nene is starting to have a hard time distinguishing the two. One is real, Luca, and the other is Nene's negative feelings and emotions, which, as we know, affects her perception of Luca. Hold on to this for a moment. This is followed by a quick sequence, which shows that Nene was the one to cut her fingers off. You won't fully understand until the very end, when her fingers are back, that these missing fingers are a metaphor. They actually represent the desire to play piano. This is made clear, as right after this sequence, we are then given a short conversation between Nene and Luca. This conversation confirms to us that Nene has finally broke out of the mental block that's been affecting her so badly. She feels so much better, in fact, that she offers to play in front of Luca, not to impress her, but simply because she wants to. The moment Nene understands her initial desire of wanting to play the piano, for herself and not for the praise of others, her fingers are back. This whole time, Nene has had her fingers and was able to play, but with the mental block she's been dealing with, it's felt quite literally impossible. And the physical representation of that was to take her fingers away. On top of this, I don't believe the knife was real either. Rather, it was just a physical tool, meant for suspense and to show us how she lost her fingers. Approaching the finale of this film, we hear the fake say how she feels something is missing, or someone. This obviously being Nene, as she has no one to latch onto anymore. Since Nene has overcome her anxiety, this humanoid manifestation will soon cease to exist. And even if it isn't fully gone, it seems like it won't be as prevalent as it was during the duration of this film. And finally, to drive the point home, we have the dead flying fish. As previously stated, flying fish represent good fortune on the way. Now a dead flying fish represents that the good fortune has arrived. The hardship you were dealing with in life is over, or rather, has come to pass. This is even shown to us, as Nene not only has all of her fingers back, but she is now back to playing piano. As she's about to play, the credits roll, and we finally hear for the first time her playing on the piano. No background noise whatsoever. Personally, I thought this video was great. The main reason I made this video to begin with is because I was so obsessed with trying to understand it. Truthfully, the first time I saw this, I really thought that she killed her friend at the end, which looking back on it now is like ridiculous. So I wanted to make this video so I could hopefully help out anyone who's confused and needs an explanation. I don't think it was done 100% perfectly, but I would say it was 95% of the way there. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, all that jazz, as it would really help me out, and I'm new to this, so I gotta start somewhere. I will continue to talk about anime, animation, movies, all that jazz. So if you enjoy any of that, please stick around. I hope to see you pals in the future. See ya.